when you think that in this city alone, around 70% of residents rent properties here. And therefore, it's probably no surprise to you that rental disputes are one of the most common legal flashpoints in Dubai. Those things like where landlords hold your deposits, there's frustrations over tenancy issues, and then there's those chats about, maybe when landlords give you notice, claim they're going to sell the property because they basically want more rent. And then you see that property rented out, with 150,000 dirham increase or something like that. It's a huge caseload. If you think about it, last year alone, the Dubai Rental Dispute Centre handed out more than 45,000 execution files. And just in the second quarter, that was of this year, it successfully settled 443 rental cases with a combined value, it's staggering, of over 190 million dirhams. It is a huge caseload, as I just said, and behind it all is this push to make Dubai's property market faster, fairer and much more transparent for everyone involved. I'm very, very lucky lady this morning. We have a guest I've been trying to get on the show for a very, very long time. I'm delighted to say that joining me now is Dr. Yousef Al Mansouri. He is a senior first instant judge at the Rental Dispute Centre, better known maybe to you and I as RERA. And he's going to be unpacking how they're achieving this and walk us through a new legal ruling that could have a major impact on both owners and developers. Dr. Yousef, thank you so much for joining me on the agenda.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning to you and to all the listeners who are listening to Dubai Radio. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We are absolutely delighted to have you. For many residents living in Dubai, I just said around, I think 70% of people here rent, especially tenants. Dealing with property issues can feel really daunting. From your perspective, from being on the inside of the Rental Dispute Centre, how would you describe the current state of landlord-tenant relations here?
Well, first of all, I would like to highlight that it's our mission to protect the rights of all stakeholders involved by enabling amicable settlements and a healthy relationship and transparent relationship between all the parties involved. By promoting settlement over litigation, we reduce the pressure on the courts, and also we can make sure that every relationship is well designed or well tailored with regard to terms and conditions. So every party involved in this relationship should be aware of their rights and obligations in this relationship.
You've had 443 settlements in 3 months, totaling around 200 million dirhams. I mean, that's not a small figure, is it, in terms of the caseload you've got going through the courts? What do you think this volume suggests about rental disputes in Dubai? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse?
It is actually a very huge achievement for us at the RDC to settle this huge number of cases, as well as it reflects a very big value. It means that we have, I would say that we were successful in our efforts by the support of our professionals and human capital that we have here at the RDC to try to mitigate and resolve disputes amicably. And it's always better to resolve cases with settlements rather than rendering a verdict by a court. And this is really an effort of the highly qualified and experienced professionals that we are having here, are lucky to have here at the RDC, who plays a very vital role in achieving these results. We have very deep expertise and knowledge in rental laws. That's why they were able to settle these cases. Thank you so much.
I mean, that's kind of her experience of dealing with the Real Estate Regulatory Authority. Obviously, you're from the RDC, Dr. Yousef. But what sort of typical cases are you seeing?
Yes, I think that was a quiet testimony, and this is actually happening a lot of times where some of the landlords abuse their power by evicting tenants unjustifiably with the ultimate motive or goal to increase the rent beyond the RERA index or beyond the RERA rental index. We review all cases varying from eviction for non-payment to eviction to sell the property or for the personal use, going to the renewing contracts if the landlord is refusing to renew the contract or providing إيجاري for the tenant, and as well as the compensation cases as this testimony was highlighting.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Yousef. The Rental Dispute Centre falls under RERA, so you're probably more familiar with RERA as a department, but yeah, they really help if you've got any challenges in terms of rents and anything else really. But they have just introduced a new legal principle, which I think will affect a lot of us, especially off-plan buyers. It states that owners are now responsible for paying service charges even before they've officially received their keys. And this is particularly relevant in cases where handovers are delayed due to non-payments. I'm delighted to say that still with me is Dr. Yousef Al Mansouri. He is Senior First Instance Judge at the Rental Dispute Centre. Thank you so much for sticking with us on the agenda, Dr. Yousef, and for your time this Friday morning.
Thank you so much.
So, Judge Yousef, if you could just walk us through the legal thinking, I guess, behind this new legal principle. Like, why should someone be paying for a property that they don't yet have access to?
Actually, the question that arose, who should pay the service charge, the buyer or the developer upon the completion? And this was an issue of multiple dispute that arose between the developers and the buyers who were refusing to pay the amount remaining for them to receive the units and start paying the service fee. So this issue arose to the appellate committee at the RDC, which rendered a very new legal principle and states that the unit owner or the buyer should be obligated to pay the service charges, even if they have not taken the possession of the property, provided that the refusal to take the possession is due to the reasons attributed to the owner or to the buyer, which means that he failed to comply with the payment schedule that was in place. So, and it would be unjustifiable for the developer to keep paying it until the owner or the buyer, the buyer should get all the payments as the payment plan that was provided. And this also provides a very fair, I would say, judgment to all parties that is involved in such relationship when buying jointly owned property.
Okay. What happens in cases where the delay in handover is due to the developer? Would the same principle still apply?
No, actually, if the delay is attributed to the developer, the law did not obligate the buyer to pay the service charges unless the property is completed and they've got the certification of completion from the DLD or Dubai Land Department. Otherwise, there is no service charge being calculated or counted towards that unless that there is a completion letter from the Land Department. Okay.
How will this ruling affect property owners who are buying through instalments or say haven't registered the unit in their name?
In my humble opinion, I think this would push all parties to fulfill their legal contractual obligations to pay their installments in time, knowing that this delay will be also getting a burden on their financial situation, because now they haven't received the property yet they are paying the service charges, but this is only for a reason that it's attributed to them, or this delay in receiving the unit is attributed toward them.
Okay. I mean, do you think this decision, is it been motivated because you believe it will actually prevent leading to more disputes in the long run? Is that the aim here?
It might not be just because disputes would always arise. As long as there's a human interaction, there will always be disputes. But I think this sets the fine line between the rights and the obligation of each party in such a relationship.
Okay. Some buyers may feel they're being penalised here for delays that perhaps are beyond their control. How would you address those concerns in terms of fairness?
I think this should be case to case, or we cannot apply one principle at all cases, but this is like just a principle. But in case that there's a force majeure, or there's a power that the buyer has no control over, I think there would be different circumstances and different consideration, therefore different judgment.
Okay. Dr. Yousef Al Mansouri, you are Senior First Instance Judge at the Rental Dispute Centre. Thank you so much for coming on the agenda this morning. We would love to have you on again. It's been really good to hear what goes on behind the scenes there. Would that be possible?
Sure. And I would like also to extend my thanks again to Dubai Eye Radio for having me today. Thank you so much.